So, wow. Today's talk is on prayer, affirmative prayer specifically. And so while that is absolutely stunning, right? Absolutely stunning, it's not how we pray. It's not how we pray. If you notice the lyrics, it says, lead us to a place. It's a plead. It's an ask. It's a request of God. And in unity, we pray affirmatively. That means we pray knowing that God is already at work. Right? That God is already here and is already leading the way. What we're praying for is to shift us. To get our thinking, our consciousness, our stuff out of the way so that we can recognize the power and the presence of the divine in every moment. No matter how painful, no matter how soul-wrenching the moment is, there is always the presence of God in it. Always. So what I've discovered, so that we don't have to throw out these beautiful songs, is there's a way for us to translate constantly. And I first found it in the Serenity Prayer. For those of you who know it, I mean, it's pretty universal now, but God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, by adding one consonant to that prayer, they change it from a plead to God to a knowing. God grants me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. God grants me the courage to know the wisdom, to know the difference. Whatever the prayer is now. You get the point. God grants me. Short circuit. And in that moment, life is forever changed. So I'm going to invite Alex back up. Right? Alex, you come back up please. And she's going to show us what we can do with Carol Bayer Sager's The Prayer.
We know you are our eyes, and watch us where we go. You help us to be wise in times when we don't know.
It's not diminishing that we're in pain. That's obvious, right? It's true with all of us at the moment when we don't know what to do next. By affirming, yes, you lead us. You show us. You are here. We reset our mind to the infinite possibilities of that moment. Rather than despair, oh, please help me. Thank you for helping me in this moment. And just by that shift in understanding, I've noticed in my own life, right here in this moment of my life, I am constantly praying that my awareness be expanded, that my understanding of what is going on be shifted. And that, for me, is the core of affirmative prayer. We've set aside this service today to practice it together. And it's one of my favorite services to do. What I do is I take your prayer requests and we pray for them together. We pray for them as a whole, as a group. It's what our prayer chaplains do every Sunday for you before or after service. It's what they do for you all week as we hold this whole community in prayer. It's what Silent Unity, our 24-hour prayer line, does around the clock, 365 days a year. But when we shift our consciousness through prayer, we literally shift every outcome. It's been said that prayer doesn't change God. What prayer does is change us. And it's been said this way: prayer does not change circumstances. Prayer changes us for the circumstances. And we know from quantum physics that once you enter the situation, the situation shifts. It changes. It can't be the same. So let's practice that together. Who wants to join us in prayer? If you have a prayer request, I'll take them right here. Yes?
Praying for children with cancer.
Okay. That's your work, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you do. Okay. So we take this moment to breathe into our heart space. Dear God, Spirit, allness and oneness, we've come to you confused and troubled by the sight and the knowing of children in pain and suffering. Enable us to shift our perspective to know that you are at work in their lives and as them. Enable us to know that every doctor, nurse, practitioner, staff member, cafeteria worker are the hands, the face, and the voice of God in these children's lives. We know that you are at work whispering in the ear of their parents and their loved ones, holding them up and giving them the strength and the courage to face each day anew. And we see these children as champions, overcoming the dis-ease of the situation to let light shine through them. Their gift of their presence here on this earth and with their families will never be forgotten. So, in this moment, we see each child as they truly are, whole, blessed, divine beings of light and love. No matter what the diagnosis, no matter what the prognosis, we know that they are your light, your love, your wisdom. And we are grateful for every moment with them. Grateful for every touch and every breath. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you. Someone else? Yeah. Yes, Martin.
Praying for those who I and we find it a challenge to be with.
So we take this moment to breathe once again. In this moment, in this prayer, we know that we come to you blocked. We know that we come to this situation wanting and striving to be more, to understand more greatly, to be more of the demonstration of love, and yet we find ourselves unable. So we open our hearts and minds to seek the presence activated in our lives. Dear God, show us the way. You show us the way to release our resentments, our judgments, our withholding. Illuminate the path to love. This day I affirm that in the person I am withholding from, I now see one spark of you. In that person that I am judging, I look again, and as I glance, I see the face of God. I see the voice of wisdom. And I see the energy of peace. In this moment, I step forward and I am willing to release everything that is blocking the good in the world. Knowing that everything begins and ends with my thought. I give thanks that you are helping me, that you are enabling me, that you and I are in truth one. You lead me to the place where there is no distance, no separation from me and anyone else at all. As I sit in that understanding, as I sit and know that my brothers and sisters and I are all one, life shifts and flows. And so it is.
So it is.
Yes.
This is a personal request. I've had a mysterious neurological ailment for the last 6 months concerning my sense of smell. The MRI is scheduled in a few weeks, and I would like courage to go through the process with itself, and also what they will find or not find. That I have faith that it will be resolved, and then I'll get rid of this symptom. And
All right. Thank you, Alan. So, all of us, I invite you all to either pray with Ellen and pray with us in this, holding Ellen in your consciousness, or if there's something similar going on in your life, to hold it for yourself. Okay? So that you're all with us. We take this deep breath together. Knowing that we are so grateful. We are so grateful to be here in this physical form and in this body temple. And also we know that this is more. There is more. There is more to us than this body. We are in fact spirit having this human experience. So in this moment we bless Ellen and the process that she is going through. We see her fear and know that it doesn't stop her from taking the next right step. We know that as she takes each baby step forward, that there are angels lifting her and bringing her to her right and perfect place. The tests, the doctors, the procedures are here to illustrate, to illuminate the divine wholeness that is Ellen, that is each and every one of us. We give thanks for the technology and the miracles of science, for they are extensions of divine thought, of desire, of longing for life to expand. Knowing that for every disease there is a cure. Knowing for that every situation there is resolution. We sit in faith. We sit in the knowing that we are divine, whole extensions of life itself. We are one power, one presence, active. As we breathe, once again, we take in our own sinus cavities, knowing how important they are to the whole process. We give thanks for the work that they are doing, expanding and contracting, enabling us to live fully, completely. And right now we hold the truth that everything unfolds as it should. The next step leads to the next resolution, which leads to the next resolution, which leads to the next step. And each footprint along the path is whole. So for this time and for this understanding that our bodies are expanding in consciousness to fulfill every need, that our temple is holy and whole, we are truly grateful. And together we say, Amen. Yes.
I would like us all to pray for our country, the United States of America, and the divine process that we are going through, because I do believe it's divine.
So we take this moment once again to affirm the truth that we are all one. I invite you in your mind's eye at this moment to bring into your mind's eye the leaders, the political leaders of this country. Let them flash by. And as they do, to extend love to each and every one of them. See them and bless them. As I lead us in this prayer. This moment, this day, I give my thanks to you. I give my thanks that you do the work of this country, that you create a space for each and every one of us to live and prosper and grow, that we make every being know the truth that they are loved, welcomed, accepted, and honored, that each individual can create for themselves a safe and holy space, a way to express their being and a way to express their faith, a way to find meaningful and empowering work, and a way to live life to its fullest. As each and every one of us is lifted, we all shift our consciousness to the whole, seeing this community that we call the United States of America continuing to expand and grow, seeing it continue to bring in more and more energy and people and resources to do the work that our forefathers envisioned. That each and every one of us is endowed by God with inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Remembering this eternal truth, allows us to grow into it today. That which we withhold from others, we withhold from ourselves. As we know this, we expand in consciousness, knowing what is ours to do. And so it is. Amen. Yes, Barbara.
This is a personal request. I will be attending a retreat next week for work, and I would like to have the courage and faith to not hold back, but to fully show up, even if it means opening up some really problems and pain.
Yeah, great. So, did everybody hear that?
No.
Okay, so let me repeat it so as I talk about it. Sorry, if I'm saying it wrong, you'll let me know. Okay. So she's attending an event or a retreat at work, and she's feeling fear around it, about how she's going to show up and how it's going to go and what the results are going to be.
And specifically just to have the courage and the faith to go through the process and fully show up. Because I'm afraid that some hurts and wounds and past pains will really come up that I can't deal with.
Right. So she's scared to face what's going to be asked of her to face in this process that she's going through. Anyone relate to that? Okay. So in affirmative prayer, I'm going to take this as a teaching moment too, okay, for all of us. In affirmative prayer, we don't deny what's actually going on. Right? We can have a denial in unity lingo is to say that fear has no power over God to manifest our good in our lives. But we don't deny that she's feeling that, right? So when we pray, we acknowledge the truth, because it's like, and it's also not necessary, if you're praying to list it all. So if you're praying to an external God, that's fine, they already know it, right? If you're praying to this God, God already knows. And if you're praying to your higher self, you're praying to this energy, this God, it's already known too. Right? So there's no need to list all the things that are wrong. What you're doing is shifting. When we affirmative prayer, we're shifting to what we want to have happen instead, right? And we want to know that it's happening. So in this instance, we might pray like this with you all. We take this moment in all of this energetic excitement to step forward and say, I am willing. I am willing to feel the fear. I am willing to experience the vulnerability. I am willing to be different than I have been in the past so that I may know life unshackled, that I may know life transformed, and that I may know the wholeness and perfection that I truly am. I give thanks that you grant me the courage to accept the things I cannot change. I give thanks that you give me the strength to carry on and to face every fear. I give thanks that I have this community and this organization and this whole country to draw my strength from. This is my opportunity. I walk into it fully present, fully aware, and fully willing to be transformed. In this excitement, I am grateful. Amen. Amen. That'll be on the tape. You can play it back to yourself. And that's another thing about prayer. It's like, there's this, I don't know where I heard it, this thing, but in unity, I heard it somewhere, someone says, oh, you pray it once and then you leave it go. It's like, I don't know what kind of being you are, but I need to pray it more than once. I'm sorry. I can remember it this moment. I can, and that's why I love doing this. When I used to work at Silent Unity, I would pray for 4 hours straight like this. One phone call after the other, and it's so great. But in my own life, I can know it, and then I can forget it a half hour later. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
5 minutes.
5 minutes later. Yeah. As I turn around. And so to pray again is, yeah, it's great. It's a wonderful opportunity, I think, for me. That's the praying without ceasing. That, for me, is what's praying without ceasing. Is I am whole, I am well, I am protected, I am divine, I am one with the thing that seems to be opposite of me. Right? And what time for one more prayer? Danielle.
Wisdom.
I'm sorry. Wisdom. Okay. And what was yours, Danielle?
Trust. Going into new vocations, floating in the mystery,
Yeah.
divine timing.
So this is great for all of us. And I'll add mine too. I had to do something yesterday that was really hard. And I don't trust. And so I have been praying constantly. We come together in this moment and know that we are not in charge of what happens. Life has its own path and course. But we ask for the wisdom, and we seek the place in ourselves that has the wisdom to take the next right step. We know right here and right now that the right thing to do is known in our heart, and that we have the strength to do it. So as we breathe into this moment, we ask to be reminded of what we know. We affirm that there is only one presence, God, right here with us, as us, in us. And that presence enables us to step forward in life, one baby step at a time. And that life is shifting as we do. We see our path before us, and I invite you with me right now to take a visualized step forward, watching new pathways appear. Stepping out over the edge of the cliff as we see a bridge appear beneath our feet. Trusting that with each step we take, there will be new structures, new support, new life, new energy, propelling us to the place we long for, the place we desire to be, and the place that we see in our mind's eye. Right here and right now, we know that with every conscious step we take forward, that there is a bridge, a path, a gateway made. The doors open, the stone is rolled away, and right before us is the thing we desire most. We are willing to go through this journey. We have the strength we need. And together, we move. Thank you for this truth, for this day, for this opportunity to remember and affirm that we are divinely blessed. And so it is. Amen. So I'm going to invite Alex to come back up and to take this to our time of meditation.